Hey, what up? Hey, what up? Hey, what up? So, this is the first video in the series of Wednesday Workshop Wednesdays. Hey, what up? This is the first video in the series of Workshop Wednesdays. And, okay, one sec. Hey, what up? This is the first video in the series of Workshop Wednesdays. And today, what I've been doing is I've finally cut out the panel pieces for my first doghouse, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to discuss getting started. For any of you out there that have a cool idea or some kind of project you want to do or some kind of venture you want to embark on, but you're just really struggling on getting started, I thought I'd do a quick video right now, giving you some tips. Not even giving you tips, either giving you tips or a cautionary tale of what not to do. That you can decide by the end of the video if this is a tip video or a cautionary tale video. Maybe you can put it in the comments below. So basically, first step when you get started is your idea. You know, when you've got an idea you're really psyched about, really passionate about, something that's like, yeah, this is a good idea, this will work. And then you kind of have the self-talk in your head, like, this is a good idea, this is a bad idea, is this what I want to do, is this cool, you know? If you think about it in many different ways, you might think, some positive self-talk. Oh yeah, I could do this idea. Or some negative self-talk. No, we're not good enough for this idea. We won't be able to do it. So maybe a mixture of both. But then when the self-talk's out of the way, after the self-talk's out of the way, that's when you start weighing it up in your head. Like, okay, well, this idea is sweet. This idea is so cool. Yeah, this idea is solid. Yeah. But then, so we've done that, we've took the box, this is the idea we're doing. And then you start weighing it up. So, how am I going to do it? What am I going to make? What am I going to do? Are we going to start big or are we going to start small? You know, you probably down this path realize, you know what, it's best to start small, it's best to start at the bottom and make your way up. That's quite a good way. If you've been weighing it up and you get to that point of let's start from the bottom and work our way up, then you know that's pretty much what the weighing up stage is all about. You know, getting the idea from an idea to something feasible that you can actually start tomorrow. And you know, if it all goes pear-shaped, you can just, you know, shake yourself off and start again, and you're not lost too much, you know, and you can learn from it and build the building blocks, basically. So in the weighing up stage, that's where you're kind of thinking about what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. So what you're going to do, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and then as well why. But why is in the self-talk, I guess. Yeah. So why comes before. So the self-talk is like the why, the weighing up is the how and the what. Okay? So you've done your self-talk, positive self-talk, negative self-talk, mental masturbation. You've done the weighing up, which is more like the logical deciding of what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. And then you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it, let's do this. And you start doing it, you know, or you at least do the freaking plan to do it. You know, you get the stuff to do it, you decide this is what we're doing now. We're going to actually put this plan into action. We're going to put the rubber to the road. We're going to, whatever we need to do, we're going to do the first step of that. And we start doing it. And that, as soon as we start doing it, this is where we reach a super beautiful, sweet, amazing phase called the honeymoon phase, where it's just like roses and birds chirping in the sky, and you know, it just feels like you're on this hero's journey of doing something incredible that, you know, and it's super positive, you know. So, you know, if you're on this journey of getting started, I really advise you so much to get as much done in this honeymoon phase as you can. Do not, don't fail to appreciate the honeymoon phase. You know, it's nice and warm, it's nice and fuzzy, it feels good. So if you can be as practical as possible in the honeymoon phase and get as much done as possible, then you're going to have some good content, some good products stored for the next phase after the honeymoon phase, which is procrastination. And this phase sucks because you've kind of boosted your self-esteem, and you've boosted your positive feelings inside yourself of what you're going to do, why you're going to do it, even how you're going to do it. And you've even put some of those plans in place. And you've even started making some things or recording some things or doing the things of your plan. And then damn, you've hit this roadblock, some kind of roadblock. You know, maybe a task was a little too hard. Maybe something was more difficult than you thought it would be. Maybe something's taking longer than you thought it would. And that's it. You kind of hit a roadblock for whatever reason. And that's just made you procrastinate. And you just kind of stop a little bit. And you know you need to be doing things, and things just take a lot longer than you expect. And you make all these excuses. And you just procrastinate. You don't realize how much hard work executing on a great idea takes. You know, ideas are a dime a dozen. Ideas ain't nothing. Ideas are shit. You know, ideas you can have a million great ideas. You know, I read in an article that Uber was created twice, but it was just executed poorly. And then the Uber you know right now, that was the guy that executed it well. You know, it's a simple idea. Great execution. That doesn't mean your ideas have to be simple. You could have an extravagant, complex idea that's great, but the execution has to be great. But anyway, in this procrastination stage, you kind of beat yourself up a little bit because all the deadlines you made in the let's do it phase and the honeymoon phase, you're not meeting those deadlines, and actually you're pushing them back. And when trying to execute on an idea, when trying to get started, the worst thing you can do is push your deadlines back because it feels horrible. So my big piece of advice for the procrastination stage is don't take it personally. Don't beat yourself up. The more you beat yourself down in this stage, the longer you're letting it go on for, you know? So the next stage is regrets and drawbacks. So as you can see, these two stages are not nice. You know, these are the worst stages. These are kind of the quote-unquote growing pains, if you will. So the procrastination, regrets, and drawbacks, they're the growing pains, if you want to call it that, okay? So you're going to have some regrets, like, damn, why did this take me so long? Why did I spend so much time watching TV? Why did I spend so much time on video games? Why didn't I just stop? Why didn't I just do this, that, and that? And you'll beat yourself up. And it's normal, that's what you will do. So just, you know, try and write it off. Just write it off and start at the stage you're at. You know? And I think there's a lot of clarity. As much as this is growing pains, there is quite a lot of clarity there to actually start from a more realistic standpoint now. To start from a more grounded place. You know? Because, you know, when you was doing the weighing up at the very beginning, you was thinking realistically, you was thinking in a good place, but you'd not even tried yet, so you didn't know what you was doing yet. It's like imagine if you want to drive a car and you do a theory test and you pass your theory test before you even go behind the wheel. That's what you're doing in the weighing up stage. So in weighing up stage, you've passed your ferry test now. In the okay, let's do it, that's when you've got your hand behind the wheel and you're driving the car. And then in the procrastination stage, in the regrets and drawback stage, that's like when, let's just say you're practicing your 3-point turn and you just can't get it. Like you're just screwing up at every corner, you're crashing into the curb and all this kind of stuff. And you're feeling quite bad about yourself. But eventually, when you've gone through the regrets and the drawbacks, and you've had a few failures, and things have been more difficult than you think they were going to be, at this stage what you can do is learn from those failures, use them as stepping stones. And then you can actually look at the whole thing. So you can look, how did you feel when you was in that honeymoon phase and you was fucking loving it and you was just riding a wave of happiness and it was amazing and it was just like you were on this hero's journey? Then how did you feel when you was procrastinating? How did you feel when you had those regrets and those drawbacks? And if you was to just look over that whole process, what can you do now to get to the next stage, which is committing fully to your idea, committing fully to pursuing this thing that you're doing? And I think it's just, you just got to make that shift in your mind that you had the self-talk to begin with, which is very emotional. You don't really know until you start, You could kind of skip the self-talk because it's like, well, I don't know, let's just try it, see what happens. But it does serve a purpose. Weighing up is more logical, so it's like, okay, how is this going to work? What's the data? What's the market research? What's the feedback? And how have other people done it? How did other people make this work?
Hello?
I'm just doing a quick video.
Okay.
So when you do the self-talk and the weighing up, you're thinking, how did other people make this work? How did it work for other people in the past? But now you're committing to it fully. And it's like you've had the nice warm fuzzy feelings, and you've had the painful feelings, and now you can just kind of be very grounded and centered with it, and just, it's like you're not happy, you're not sad, you're not even feeling numb, you're kind of feeling motivated in a way that you're just gonna go for it now. You're just gonna do it. You're just gonna put one step in front of the other, even if you're kind of putting one step in front of the other, knowing that you've had some drawbacks now. You've had some good warm fuzzy feelings now. So you've got the confidence to just kind of put one step in front of the other, because the pain of not doing the things really is a lot worse than just going and doing the things. So that's the second to last step. And the last step of getting started is the execution of the process, whatever that is. So whatever you do, whatever your idea is, let's say your idea is baking the most badass, tastiest cakes in the world. Well, your process may be get up in the morning, take out all your baking equipment, and then get out all your ingredients, or go to the market to get your ingredients, and then start. Whatever your process is, my personal process is getting up in the morning, sharpening my tools, getting myself ready for the day, deciding what things I'm going to build today, what projects I'm going to work on today, and then get on with it. And at this stage, it's actually just getting the cogs turning on the machine inside yourself, making new habits. And this is where you can really get started. So, if you've got an idea, if you've got something you really want to do, if you've got something you think would be great, make you happy, help others, then just, maybe think about these steps. The first step is being the idea itself. Second step, positive and negative self-talk. Third step, weighing up the idea. The next step, okay, let's do this. The next step, honeymoon phase. Then procrastination, regrets, drawbacks. Then committing to the idea fully. Then execution of the process. And hopefully to end this video, I just want to, hopefully, if I help one person to make the process a little smoother, then that would be great. Anyway, see you next week for Wednesday, Workshop Wednesdays. Check them out. Oh, okay, one sec. Get up.